Hello everybody, my name is Mangus and I'm joined here by my beautiful wife Bethany. A little while back we did a dress review. That was when she was my fiancée. She has since been promoted to wife. And you guys ask us often, hey, can you review more dresses? So that is exactly what we're going to be doing today. So a little background in case you don't know. My wife Bethany, she does a lot of sewing, a lot of cosplaying. Can I show them your dress? I'm going to show them your dress. This is a dress she made. We brought it to a con. She's very talented. She knows a lot about sewing and dresses and
fashion history.
A lot of fashion history. So
I'm not an expert. I'm just a hobbyist.
So the concept is we're going to bring up some dresses. She's going to talk about the dresses and she's going to rate them. Baby, are you ready for the first dress?
I am ready.
All right. So first out today, starting real simple, we have Aideen.
Oh my goodness.
From Fire Emblem 4, Genealogy of the Holy War.
Gods, please allow them to preserve their humanity in the face of conflict.
I love this. I love Aideen. I really like this. I find it very charming. The colors are beautiful. Gold and purple is a very classic combination. And her skirt, so she's got like a white dress on and then she's got like an overskirt with the tassels and the thing. This shade is almost a periwinkle, which I really like. You would not know what that is because you're a guy.
A periwinkle?
You are a man. You are a man and you're colorblind, so you wouldn't know what that is. Periwinkle is like a very light bluish, purplish color. It's kind of weird, but it looks really good, and I like the gradients on it and the gold, and it's because it's technically a shade of like blue and purple. The gold really looks good with it, and I like the tassels. Yeah, no, I really like this. I will say the silhouette on the skirt looks a little weird. I think the bottom needs to flare out a little more. It's a trumpet skirt, which is basically tight at the hips, down to the knees, and then it flares out at the bottom. But the bottom of the dress doesn't look like it flares out enough that she could actually put it on. But that's my only real criticism. I love the lining on the bottom.
So what's the rating on this one?
9. I like it.
9 out of 10. Wow, starting out strong here.
No,
okay.
This is what I like in a design, like flowing dresses and a cloak and embroidery.
Yeah, I have no idea which order these are going to come in, so I'll be surprised too. I know, of course, all the dresses, but let's move over to the next one, which is...
10 out of 10. I don't even need to talk about this one.
Thanks for the outfit. I love it.
This is so like this dress does things to me because Elise is my little baby, and this is literally the best Fae art ever made. The way that they just kind of adapted her outfit and just changed the colors and a couple of the silhouettes of, like, instead of it being a flat edge to the cape here, it looks like petals. You see this with a lot of flowers, is that their petals are not consistently one color the entirety of the petal. It'll either start at a darker color and then turn lighter as it reaches the edge of the petal, or vice versa. One really cool note here is I like that they basically just took her boots, and you see how she, in her original art, she has pink ribbons like laced around her boots.
Yeah.
They replaced them with little vines with flowers and roses and little butterflies at the heels. Oh, butterflies on like the outside of the ankle. Oh, like so she can click her heels. Oh my god. It's so cute. Honestly, I would say the weakest part of this artwork is the butterfly wings, because they don't look like they're actually a part of the artwork. They look like they put this as a background and then they put her on top of it.
Yeah, it could have worked just as well without it.
Yeah, like you could cut out the butterfly wings and it would, honestly, I'd probably like it even more. And you see how she replaced her little bows with little roses?
That's cute. Yeah, that's very
so
cute.
Cute. And the little flower pins holding her hair together. Yeah, this is just my favorite art. Oh, I love it.
10 out of 10?
Yes. 11 out of 10. A billion out of 10.
Whoa, okay.
Oh.
Didn't mean to swap so quickly there.
Oh dear, is something the matter?
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna have some dresses on here that I know you're not a fan of.
This is...
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. I hate this bitch. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. This is... I went over, so actually, my friend Leanne also sews too, and one time we got on Discord together and we just pulled up a bunch of the Engage art and started roasting it. And we spent like an hour on this picture in particular. And I will say, She looks better in the 2D art than she does in game.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I don't think the models in Engage actually look that good. A lot of them look kind of janky, and honestly, 3D anime is really weird. It's kind of uncanny to me. First off, first thing I thought when I saw this outfit was, look at the shape of the crown and the floaty gold thing around her shoulders.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a ring.
Yeah, and this is something you see a lot in mostly Eastern media. I haven't seen it very much in Western media, at least as far as I can remember. A lot of like floaty things just floating around the character, and it's supposed to imply, oh, they're magical or they have some kind of like divine. I could see this almost being kind of like in artwork of like the saints and Jesus, where they put the halo around the head. I think it's supposed to be some kind of
She is a divine dragon after all.
Yes. But this looks like shit. I'm sorry. She looks like, and you'll need to pull up the artwork for this one. One of the prophets from Halo 2. She looks like the prophet of regret. It's the shape of the crown. It's the floaty gold things around her shoulders. I cannot unsee it. This bitch has way too much going on. Way too much going on.
Which is a common theme of Engage. It's just
Exactly.
overload. It overloads your senses.
Exactly. She's got a mermaid-style, trumpet-style dress, which, okay, they got my notes from Aideen. They made it flare out more. I think it flares out a little too much, but I'm not going to complain too much about that. I don't like the colors. I understand this may be a personal thing. I don't like these really strong, really bright colors. They feel artificial. This does not look like it was made out of silk. This looks like it was made out of polyester, because polyester is very easy to dye and get these really bright colors with.
Yeah, like you order something on Temu.
Yeah, this looks like Temu. There's just too much. These frills going down the body, I think these could look really nice, because if you look at them by themselves, they kind of look like scales. Do you see it?
Yeah, that's probably intentional.
Yes, but then they have these weird handkerchiefs hanging off the side. You don't need that. I find it distracting and weird to have things just hanging off the side. And if you look, I hate this trend where people don't draw seams on their outfits, so it just looks like fabric was melted onto the person with like a heating gun, like saran wrap.
Yeah.
You can't see the seams. You can't see how this was made. And if you look, she's got, I hesitate to call it a bustle, because bustles actually look good, but it's this second layer in the back with the frills. Mm-hmm. So a bustle it's an undergarment from the Victorian era. It's kind of been adapted to modern day, but it's, those late 19th century dresses that have the really big butt. It's like a cage that goes around the butt and cascades down to the floor. So this is supposed to be basically a modern version of this, but it just doesn't look good. The frills, there's too much going on. The silhouette is being taken away from because you have the really nice mermaid silhouette that is now just covered in a blob. And this cloak is disgusting. It is piss yellow. Look at these piss roses with this weird like paper folding, almost looks like a origami, but it's supposed to be fabric, I think these are probably not ruffles. What are they called? Flounces. You make like a spiral flounce and then you sew it onto the dress, but it doesn't look good. And then you have the green, the bright red, the piss yellow, the white, the piss yellow roses, this bright coral pink again through the dress, the white of the dress, the piss yellow on the bottom, and the super bright coral on the bottom, mixed with the contrast of the blue of her eyes and her hair, and the green bias tape going around the edge of the cloak.
How low are we gonna go here?
Oh, a quantum supercomputer calculating for 1,000,000 years could not figure out what number. Yeah, we'll just go with 0 to make things simple.
Wow, so bottom of the barrel.
No, this is disgusting. Look at the bolo tie too. She's got a bolo tie and a choker.
I don't think you ever gave a 0 out of 10 to any of the other ones. I'm gonna have to.
I think I gave it to Saline.
Yeah, I think you gave it to Saline, yeah. I think you gave it a 1 out of 10. Anyway, let's move on to the next dress, which is...
Oh, Safy.
I am Safy of Tara. Let us fight for our futures together.
I love this design. I will never play Thracia because I have taste. But if there was one thing that could convince me to play Thracia, it's Safy, my best girl. I love the silhouette on this. And it's a simple design, and you can tell because this was made back in the 90s.
Yeah, it's based on her original artwork.
Yes.
Which I can show on screen, but I use Hero's artwork because it's just so much more detailed.
Yeah. I really love this shade of green. It's like a soft, slightly cool shade of green. It's really close to being the Shrek Twinkie green, but it's not. So it's okay. And then I like how her hair is basically the same It's the same base hue, it's just a little more intense, a little darker. I like having that synergy with the colors. And again, this yellow, it's really close to being piss yellow, but it's not. So it works. A lot of these colors just need a little bit of tweaking and then they can look really appealing together. Simple. Green, white, yellow, gold. 4 strong colors. And gold, I don't even really count gold as its own color anymore because it's an accent. It goes on everything. It's always gonna be there. I love the puffy sleeves. The cuffs are so cute with the little gold bands. They're not bracelets. You wouldn't attach a bracelet to a sleeve. So it's probably just some kind of gold ribbon that was sewn onto the sides. She's got a mandarin collar there, there's a lot of mandarin collars in. So it's basically like, think of like a turtleneck, but instead of being a straight line, it's kind of separated into 2 bits. A cheongsam is a traditional Chinese dress. I think it is what popularized the mandarin collar. You see it a lot in fantasy media. I like the lining. This is a nice, simple, just easy, simple design. And I like that she covers her hair, but you can still see her hair. Yeah, I love characters that have hoods and cloaks and veils. But you can still have the little hair peeking out because she's a cleric, right?
Yeah, she's a sister, I believe it's called in the game.
Yeah, it makes sense why she would cover her hair. And honestly, specifically the silhouette of this one, it doesn't look like a typical cloak to me. This looks like a wimple, which is a type of medieval headdress, I believe. Again, we can put the picture up here on the screen, but it has a similar kind of silhouette, except the wimple is designed that you don't show any of the hair. And then it would also have a cloth right underneath the chin. No, I love this. I love this.
Rating?
Probably an 8.
8 out of 10?
I'd say 8 is my baseline for like really well done, and then 9 is, and then 10 is personally to my tastes.
Right.
Everything I want in a design.
Nice, your rating system. All right, let's move on to the next dress, which is Leanne.
Words. Strange. For me.
Honestly, I could have just as easily pulled her artwork from the Talius games because it's...
I think her Talius art looks better.
Yeah. You want to go with that instead?
Sure.
Okay, let's...
This dress, I have grown a new appreciation for it. This is deceptively simple. But you know what this reminds me of? This, particularly it's not so much in the sleeves, it's kind of in the sleeves. There's a little bit of historical interpretation there. This reminds me of a bliot, which is I believe, 11th to 12th century Western European garment. It was worn by men and women, but nowadays it's mostly known for being worn by women because it's floor length, and it is a garment that was designed to be tight, form-fitting on the body, and then have a voluminous flowing skirt, which you can see. And the waistline is not starting at her actual waist. The skirt starts at her hips, which it's little, you don't think things like that matter, but little subtle differences in exactly where the waistline ends and the skirt begins, it changes the silhouette. It makes her look very tall. It makes her look like she has a long torso. You see the point right here?
Yeah.
That's it's very elegant looking. And her dress, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It just looks like it's made out of a beautiful like ivory silk. Her golden belt. This dress reminds me of a painting, actually, called The Accolade. It's a very famous painting. You'd probably recognize it if you saw it. You probably wouldn't know it by the name, but I believe it's a painting of Guinevere, Queen Guinevere, knighting Lancelot. And you can see there's tons of similarities in the dresses that they wear. She's also wearing a bliot. The defining thing that separates the bliot from other dresses is the sleeves. The sleeves are tight to the elbow and then they flare out. And so think like Éowyn's green dress from Lord of the Rings. That is basically a classic bliot just with like a different collar. And hers is kind of similar, except she has puff sleeves at the top, and then the sleeves would normally be really long. They'd go down to like her knees, or even I've seen ones that go down to the floor. So they changed the sleeves a little bit. But in the painting, The Accolade, Guinevere's sleeves look exactly like this. They're puffed at the top, and then she has gold cuffs on her sleeves, I believe, but then it's the same kind of shape, and then hers are a little bit longer. So, and then she has a golden belt as well. And it makes me wonder if the artists of Fire Emblem might have taken inspiration from that painting for her design here. And then she has her angel wings, which are very nice, but like we're focusing on the outfit here.
I can show a picture of how it looks like in the back too, because I know that's the...
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not historical at all, but she has an open back, and backs are so elegant.
She needs to for her wings.
Yes, and I love that's a little bit of world building right there, because a lot of times they just give them a regular outfit and they don't even think about how it would work to stick your wings through a dress, you know? And like with the Lagoos, do they have anything like that for the Lagoos?
We never see it, but I'm sure their pants have little holes in them for their tails.
Oh, I'm sure the fan artists have had fun with that. No, I love this design, and you can't see it in the art, but she has a little embroidery on her chest, and it's really simple embroidery, which is, I love it. And just one little detail I really like about this skirt, she's actually got a little overskirt on it. You see?
Yeah, I see.
This is like a little separate part. It's easier to see in the Radiant Dawn art because it's a slightly different color. But yeah, this is one of my favorite dresses in the entire series. This design is so classic. I can't think of a single complaint with it, honestly. This is like a 9.5, 10 out of 10. This is everything I want in a design.
So what's the rating for the screen?
For the screen?
Yeah, 9. Do you want 9.5 or 10?
10.
10 out of 10?
10.
All right, another 10, ladies and gentlemen. Leanne joins the 10 club.
Yes.
Let's move on to the next dress, which is... your favorite character.
What? Is that supposed to be a joke?
Edelgard from Tree Houses.
Oh, wow, it's this bitch. Okay. Okay. So I kind of have mixed feelings on this, actually. I think this actually looks pretty decent. Like, I didn't like it at first, but the more that I look at it, the more I like it. First of all, the colors on this are stunning. That shade of gold is so vibrant. It like goes really well with this vibrant red. I would have preferred if it was a slightly darker red, but it still looks really good. And Edelgard has this really distinct, vibrant red. It's not like a maroon. This silhouette-wise, if you see, this is actually a pretty puffy skirt. It reminds me of almost a robe a la anglaise in terms of the skirt silhouette. Now, these wings are beautiful. They look so good. I like that it's like a winged shawl with the feathers. That looks really good, and it goes with her motif of like the eagles. So, but first of all, look at these colors: white, gold, red, and then the white of her hair, which is basically the same shade of white as the other details in the costume, and then her beautiful purple eyes. This is how you do color design. I love this. The colors look amazing. The more I look at it, the more I'm warming up to it. The lilacs, or the little flowers she has here, they're supposed to match her eyes, which I like. I don't like this scepter. Weird looking. This reminds me of like the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. It's over the top. It looks like a Halloween decoration, not something a queen would wear. And I mean, like, I hate Edelgard, but she is a queen, you know, so
Is she technically an empress?
Fucking bitch. I don't care.
All right, so what's the rating?
This is like... I like her crown, too. Give this an 8.
Wow.
I like this.
You either give like 1 or you give 8.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really
Like, give like, you know, -1,000,000 or like a 10 out of 10. There's no in between.
Let's move on to the next dress, which is...
Oh, Guinivere. Oh, my baby girl. I love her so much. This looks so good.
I am Guinevere. My elder brother is Zephiel, the king of Bern.
Guinevere is a classy lady. She is a princess, and she knows she's a princess, but she's still humble, you know? This is Edelgard. If you weren't such a fucking bitch, you could be like her. No, Guinevere is so lovely. I love her circlet with the simple red jewel, and it synergizes with the rest of her outfit. And it's so classy. Like, she just looks like a nice, classy lady. And you can tell she's rich, but it's not like super ostentatious and over the top and oh, she's got all this extra stuff. Lumera. Let's see. She's got a pointed end to, and we've seen this on a couple characters, pointed end to the bodice. Again, it serves kind of like Leanne to elongate the bodice and make the hips look wide, emphasize the hips. It's what, like, if you have a straight line here, then it's hard to see. And this is like little details in sewing and garment making. You don't think they matter in the short term, but then they make all the difference in the world. The embroidery looks really good. These almost look like lace appliques that were hand sewn onto the dress. The skirt is so fluffy. She's probably got a petticoat underneath there, which you need. You can't, like, skirts just don't get this fluffy. Fabric has weight, so if you don't have something supporting it underneath, it will just fall flat most of the time. I want to know how they'd get the embroidery onto the fur, because I've worked with this kind of material before that doesn't really work like that unless you're just gluing it on top of it. Maybe there's something like that in some historical garment that I haven't seen. I'm sure you can do it, I just don't really know how they would, and I find it a little jarring. Same with the cuffs, but again, it looks good, so I can't really complain. And the lace around her neckline looks really good. And the simple green jewel, the green matches her eyes. And this is something, actually, I noticed. These GBA characters, they tend to have a lot more simple color schemes and synergistic thing. Matching, the necklace matches the eyes, because there's a color limit.
There's a color limit, exactly. 16 colors. You can't exceed 16 colors with the GBA. It doesn't have the memory for it.
Yeah, so that's a really cool note, and seeing how they got creative, and they're like, oh, I only have this many colors to work with, so we're gonna make her necklace jewel match her eyes, and she's just perfect. I just love her. She's like a 9 out of 10, I think.
Yeah? 9 out of 10?
Yeah.
All right.
She's really good. I can't... Again, she's just not exactly what I try to reserve 10 out of 10s for something that I just... Oh, you know?
Yeah, I get it. All right, let's move on to the next dress, which is... Had to put it in here.
I'll try to make myself useful however I can.
Can this even be called a dress?
It's a dress. Unfortunately, it's a dress. And see, this is actually one of the better looking designs in Engage for me, because it doesn't make me want to have a seizure with all the fucking colors everywhere.
It's simple, yeah.
Yeah, it's simple compared to that. Couple things I appreciate about the artwork, and again, just because I think it looks good in the artwork doesn't mean I necessarily think it works for Fire Emblem, but I will point that out. So I like how at the bottom here, when her hair is more detailed up at the top, and then it looks more like brush strokes, like simple, not as much detail. It kind of starts looking like the dress.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's a cute thing for the artwork. Where do I even start? This design is filled with good ideas that I just don't think necessarily work for Fire Emblem. So this dress is made entirely of feathers, and we never see what Veyle looks like as a dragon, right?
Nope. We don't see Veyle, we don't see Elise, we see Lumera and Sombron. Those are the only two dragons we see.
Do any of them have any kind of feather motifs?
Sombron
looks like a cobra.
He looks like a cobra, and Lumera is... Actually, yeah, I'll pull up a picture of Lumera's divine dragon form. She might actually have something that looks a little bit like feathers.
Okay.
She looks like a white dragon from D&D, like an ice dragon.
Yeah. Well, if there's feather, because I'm not familiar with her dragon form.
We never see it, so.
One thing I appreciate is that the coloring in this art is so much more subtle than it is in, the rest of the cast. You have black, white, blue, pink. And then you have like these shades of like her hair isn't like the black parts of her hair aren't pure black, they're more like a charcoal gray, but you can work with that. That's not that big a deal. I don't like her choker with the belt on it. That's kind of weird. I don't like her feet being out. Actually, you know what? Bare feet can work for a design. I don't like the shackles. I don't like the shackles on it. I know the whole point is that she's like a prisoner and she's being controlled by everybody.
Yeah. No, they put those there so they have an excuse to zoom in on her feet in every scene. There are 2 or 3 different CGs in Engage that just shows her feet.
Yeah.
And that's so intentional.
It's almost like the Dark Souls with Hidetaka Miyazaki. Maybe he directed this game.
Maybe he had a hand in it.
Feet. Anyway, but replace the chains with something like an anklet.
Yeah.
That'd be cute. So, but I appreciate that the colors are not all over the place, and I like the idea of a dress made completely out of feathers. It's fine. There's nothing like super wrong with it. I actually like the crown she has. I like the little silhouette it gives her. It's actually a pretty unique silhouette. So that's about it. There's not too much to say about this. Anyway.
Rating?
7.
That's higher than I thought, honestly.
That's higher than I expected for an Engaged character.
All right. We got 2 dresses left. Actually, we got 3 dresses left because the last one's going to be a duo unit. But up next, we have Ballroom Lachesis.
My brother Aideen and I used to spend hours dancing together for practice.
The colors, I will say, the colors are a little too bright for me. Again, this shade of pink right here reminds me of the trademarked and patented Barbie pink. Which I've never really liked that color to begin with. But I will say, it goes well with the other colors that are here. So even if I don't necessarily like the color itself, it synergizes well with the rest of the outfit. It's very vibrant, very bright, vivid, and they went with a similar kind of vivid gold for her hair. So it comes together very well. I hate this kind of sheep's wool.
The Jenny sheep
yes,
wool, yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like this texture on the shawl because my family has sheep. I've touched the sheep. It doesn't feel nice. It feels like gross and like kind of greasy. And I don't think it looks good. Replace this with like a ribbon or like just a regular shawl when you can put some designs on it. The dress itself though, I like that it flares out. This reminds me of a flamenco dress. And it's like a dancing alt. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
This reminds me of something maybe you'd wear to a tango, which would explain why it has such bright colors, because those dresses tend to have really vivid colors. And the flower in her hair is nice.
So I think that this I don't have the artwork here, but I'll put it up on screen. Do you remember Edelgard's art from Fire Emblem Heroes? He has
Edelgard.
he has a very distinct red to him.
Yeah.
And I think what they went for with this outfit is she wants to match Edelgard to go to a
that'd be
ball.
cute.
Because, she's the little sister who adores her.
Oh yeah, they're brother and sister, right?
She is very into her brother.
That's another recurring trope in
another thing
Japanese
that
media and Fire Emblem.
That we just gotten used to.
Yeah, we just kind of, I think we just kind of forget. Yeah, she basically is like in love with her brother, and we're just like, yeah, that's fine, that's normal.
Yep.
What are we doing?
In the manga, they sleep together. No joke. Yeah, the FE4 manga is weird. Man.
As in they sleep next to each other,
Nope.
or as in
Nope.
what?
Yep. It's alluded to at least.
Oh my god, why did you say this?
I like bringing up the FE4 manga.
No,
'cause it's
Edelgard, no, what are you
it's
doing?
So weird.
Edelgard, why?
It's so weird.
I like her gloves.
Sorry, I sidetracked
You kind of ruined this for me. We'll give this like a... I can't even... You ruined my day. I'll give this an 8. I think it's really well done.
Oh, another 8.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't like the color itself, but that could just be a me thing.
All right.
And it goes well with the other colors.
So, this next artwork, we have got a duo unit. And this artwork made me very happy when it came out, because it features 2 of my favorite characters. Well, one of my favorite, and then one that's like top 20. Can you try and guess who it is?
Well, I would say the Pent and Louise duo, but that doesn't fucking exist, because we can't have nice things.
It would be on here, but no, these are 2 girls. And I will give you a hint. They're wearing wedding dresses. You might not. You might.
I know. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't remember though.
Yeah.
What games?
FE4?
FE4? Both from FE4? Deidre,
Almost.
Julia, and who's the other one?
Ishtar!
Ishtar. Oh my goodness!
Your dress is lovely.
Thank you. As is yours, Lady Julia.
I have not seen this. Is this new?
Relatively new.
Okay.
This was, I think, either this year or last year.
Okay.
Yeah. When I saw this, I was just like, wow. It's mostly Ishtar that does it for me. Julia actually...
She looks a little derpy.
Yeah, they actually did Julia kind of dirty because she's gorgeous in FE4, and here it's like they took away all her curves, but it has Ishtar with a bare back, so I'm okay with that.
Open backs are so beautiful. They're not used enough, and that is why Churchy is like top 2 waifus and all of Engage, fucking hell. Awakening. Churchy, I love her open back. Open back looks really good, and it's a way to be sexy while not being whorish.
Yeah.
So I wish we got to see the front of the wedding dress. It probably looks similar to Julia's though.
Let me bring up the rest of the artwork. All right, let's see if we can see it from different angles here. So we have their attacking. Yeah, you get to see Ishtar's from the front.
Okay, so she has the open leg slit. That's very Ishtar.
Yeah, and then Oh, this is their. Yeah, I don't see much.
Okay.
Yeah. You see it from. You only get to see Ishtar from the front and back. Julia, you only get to see from the front. So we don't get to see if Julia has an open back or not. Okay. Although I think she does.
They would probably go with something similar.
Yeah.
This art is pretty good. I will say Julia's face looks a little derpy.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You could probably put it up on this.
It's kind of sad. Like Ishtar overshadows Julia in this artwork, I think, even though she stands behind her.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
You only notice Ishtar.
I mean,
in this.
Julia looks really young too.
She does, yeah.
Like she kind of looks like a child bride.
A little bit.
This is Fire Emblem though, so apparently that's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. This is really nice art, and I like that they gave them. So is Ishtar's hair purple? Or is it silver? I thought it was purple.
You're asking the wrong
I thought it was
guy.
silver.
I think it's
silver,
a silvery
with like a
purple.
slight purple.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm asking you about colors.
Yeah, I'm the wrong person to ask about this.
But I like that they gave them a similar color scheme because this purple, like, her hair isn't this color in game, but it's a really complementary color. So it doesn't bother me that they changed it. This is really nice. The colors all synergize really well. This really light purple that's just barely not white. And then these more intense, stronger colors at the bottom with the gold embroidery. Again, gold and purple is a classic combination. I do think it's a little weird, though, that they gave her... So, Julia. Okay, light purple dress, purple underdress, gold embroidery on everything, gold ribbon. And then she has a silver belt around her corset. Why isn't that gold? Normally you wouldn't want silver and gold to be in the same, like they just tend to clash. You tend to want to just go with one or the other. They can look good together, but it's just kind of weird to me that they have this really nice shade of gold here that they could use and it would look perfect. And then they just use this weird, it's not even like a silver, it looks more like an iron. It just looks gray. And then they put it on her veil as well. The roses are cute on the veil though. So I wish they kind of would have gone with the gold instead of that, but it's not like a huge deal. I'm kind of nitpicking here to find issues. The veil has such a nice silhouette to it. I love that. And like veils are made of like really light fabrics, so it's nice that they kind of fluff around and kind of float because they're made of like chiffon or tulle, something that just kind of floats and defies gravity, or at least when you're spinning, because like chiffon is a heavy fabric, but when you spin around, it looks like it's defying gravity. It was like, anyway, sorry. I'm using all these terms you don't know. Oh, this is cute. And we get to see more of Ishtar's dress here. I like that they included, having a slit like that big on your wedding dress is a little weird to me, but it matches her design. Ishtar
shows legs and everything she does, so it makes sense that she would also show it in a wedding dress.
Yeah, and the thigh high looks really good with it. She looks really good. So it still looks good, which is the important thing. So yeah, this is really, and she looks sexy, but in a classy way. She doesn't look like a whore.
I think Julia actually looks better from this angle.
Really? I really like the pose Ishtar has.
Yeah, no, Ishtar looks better. I'm thinking Julia looks better than in the other picture.
Oh, okay.
No, Ishtar. Sorry, like any day, Ishtar would be Julia, but I think Julia looks better than in the other image.
She does.
Yeah.
She does. The dynamic pose is really nice.
Mm-hmm. There is also another thing that I really like about Ishtar getting a duo unit. I don't know, it might just be my headcanon, but I've always considered Ishtar to be super tall, even among other female characters. Seeing her
with legs like that?
Yeah, she's supposed to be this like incredibly tall woman. And I like that, when she's, I don't know, Julia might be super short, so maybe she's not that tall, but it's fun to see her next to another unit.
Yeah, I like that the height difference actually does a lot for creating an interesting picture to look at, because if they're the same height, then it kind of all blends together and they look like one blob instead of two characters standing next to each other.
Yeah.
No, this art is really good. I can't believe I haven't seen this before.
No, I found it for the first time when I was looking through dresses to review.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, well.
I'd give this like a 9.
Oh yeah, I forgot you didn't rate it yet. Okay.
I would give Julia like an 8 and Ishtar probably a 9.
All right. So which one are we landing on? 8 or 9?
Overall a 9.
Okay. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that was my beautiful wife rating 12 dresses.
I hope I didn't piss a bunch of people off with my opinions.
comments on the last one were relatively positive. A few butthurt Engage fans. I'm sure Speedwing will say something.
Oh,
But
oh God, Speedwing.
but overall, they seem to like your takes on dresses. I don't know anything about this, so I'm just sitting here nodding my head. But this is what you wanted, guys. All right, well, we're gonna go to a restaurant now.
We're gonna go on a date.
Yeah. So, thank you so much, wife, for rating dresses.
You're
and
welcome.
yeah, let me know if you agree or disagree with her ratings in the comment section below. And
Yeah.
if there's any cosplayers here watching who find this interesting, let me know who you are.
And like put more. I love looking at dresses, so like put more in the comments because I try to find new stuff to look at and complain about.
Yeah,
So
sure.
if you have anything that you think is interesting, like I just want to look at stuff.
Yeah, recommend dresses, and if we get a lot of recommendations, we'll do another one.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Bye.